Last May, the Navy held several scoping meetings near the proposed OLF sites. This slide, prepared by the Navy and presented to Senator Burr, shows the attendance at each scoping meeting. Gates County had the most impressive turnout, 671 people. This slide shows that 405 scoping statements were submitted for Gates County. Since the Navy scoping meeting, local citizens have shared the story of the sandbanks with the Nature Conservancy, Audubon, North Carolina DNR, North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission, Environmental Defense, our elected officials, and other groups. In June 2008, Duke University's Environmental Law and Policy Clinic agrees to study the environmental impacts of an OLF on the sandbank site. In August 2008, Citizens Against OLF met with Governor Perdue's senior staff. They pledged her support. In March of 2009, she made another statement.
But I again believe, just like I believed for more than a couple of years, that we should not cite an OLF in anybody's community or county unless the people there want it. And so I will certainly stick with you in Gatesville. Thanks so much.
September 2008, Citizens Against OLF meets with Senator Jones and Representative Mobley. Both pledged their support. In October 2008, we had our fall fundraiser. We had 110 volunteers. 2,911 plates were sold. $14,986.76 was raised. On December 29, 2008, Congressman Butterfield pledged his support.
Going on record from day one, opposing the OLF. I continue to be opposed to the OLF, and you can count on my continued opposition to the effort. Now, and I have every reason to believe all of us working together, it will not happen. We're going to continue to be vocal, we're going to continue to oppose it, and when necessary, we're just going to get mad and get angry and demand that they take it to another location.
In February of 2009, the community gathered at Stony Branch Missionary Baptist Church. Many speakers encouraged us to keep fighting to save our community.
They picked us because they said that we were in the middle of nowhere. I'm sure you can relate to that. They also picked us because they never dreamed that we would have the audacity to think that we could challenge the Navy. Never mind beat the Navy. And we did. The Navy associated our poverty with ignorance. They considered our faith in God naive, and they mistook our gentleness for weakness. They insulted us with promises of incentives meant to divide those who would trade the welfare of their community for selfish gain. You must not be divided. You will only win this battle together. They neglected to realize that there was no incentive big enough to put our quality of life at risk. So they offered us all kinds of, oh, they're going to be jobs, and they're going to be, but the fact is there was only going to be noise and pollution. They insulted us with offers of fire trucks in return for destroying our whole way of life. Eastern North Carolina, and this time specifically Gates and Camden counties, are the victims of overdevelopment in Virginia. You might as well know what this is really about. The placement of the OLF in these counties is clearly based solely on complaints about noise, particularly in and around the Fentress Field and Oceana Naval Air Station.
So they told him, well, you don't have to worry about that because it's just a little bit. Yeah, but over the years, a little bit becomes a lot. You know, and a little bit of some things is enough. You know, just a little bit of a bullet, a kill. Huh? You see what I'm saying? You know, you don't get just a little bit pregnant. You hear what I'm saying? Some things, a little bit of it will kill you.
Yes, sir.
And they're going to tell y'all it's noise, but it's just a little bit, just when they lift up. But over time,
My God.
a little bit, they say, well, it's just a little bit of air pollution. But over time, and see, one of the things I think that we ought to add to this, particularly those of you that are farmers, see, you sell your goods. And what if it gets out that your plants and your crops are being covered with this pollution, this stressful situation? And if you all don't fight them, you're going to get sick. Because this really is a health issue. This is about the poor and powerful forces believing that they can just push the poor around anyway, and any kind of way. And I want to say it not morbidly, I just want to say it. You know, if you're 45, probably, if not for everybody, you on the downturn. I'm not, you know, probably. Now some of y'all gonna make it to 120 or 130. But for the most part, you at least about at 50%. So my point is, this fight isn't just about you. See, you gotta understand, and we learned this, you know, ain't no such thing as a free ride.
No, sir. No, sir.
My wife is stuck with me right now because she got in the car and went to McDonald's with me. I just offered her a ride to McDonald's. And she thought I was just offering her a ride to McDonald's. But I had a whole line of things that I was planning on carrying out. See, y'all laughing, but see, you don't know what else is going to follow this.
Yes, sir.
See, they're not telling you all of that. See, because I've lived long enough to know sometimes folk just want to get a hook in you or just a anchor. See, if you can get one field down here and a few planes, then what else can you see? And nobody's going to tell you all of that. They're just going to tell you we're doing this right now, and this is it. But you don't know what it's going to cause not only now, but for your children. And the health problems may not show up in you, but they may show up in your children. And any people that will not fight for their children are not even worthy of having children.
Yes, sir.
Some fights I don't engage now. If I haven't gotten most of what I've gotten by 45 or 50, then I'm pitiful. For me. The rest of my life now is not about me. There comes a point that your life is no longer about you. It had nothing else to do with you. You just about receive all that you're going to get. It becomes the issue of legacy. It becomes the issue of living for the generation behind you.
Also in February, Congressman Butterfield asked the House Armed Services Committee for legislative language that would require the Navy to demonstrate strong community support before building an OLF.